there. You're getting to see me in the studio today. Yes, I've got my headphones on. We've got the complete gear happening because we're recording extra podcast episodes this week, so I'm neck deep in work, but I did not forget about our date to talk Shakespeare Saturday. So this week I wanted to pop on and share with you three fascinating facts about castles in Shakespeare's plays, some of which might surprise you. Hey there, I'm Cassidy Cash. This is That Shakespeare Life. Today, I am telling you all about my little side project I have going here. I am researching all the castles that appear in Shakespeare's plays. I would love for that to turn into a book eventually, but at the moment, it's just a whole bunch of research and, as you might expect, a lot of illustrations. We're looking into what they looked like in his lifetime and how they influenced the stories that he told. Today, I'm sharing three quick facts that reveal just how interesting and sometimes surprising those real-life locations can actually be. Fact number one, Dunsinane is a hill, not a castle. Now, Shakespeare helps you out here because there are places where he refers to Dunsinane as a hill and not a castle, like in Macbeth. The witches offer their very famous chilling prophecy about Macbeth, where they say, Macbeth shall never vanquished be until great Birnam wood to high Dunsinane hill shall come against him. That's from Macbeth Act 4, Scene 1. Now, Dunsinane is a real place, but what might surprise you is that even though it's considered this, protective fortress, it actually wasn't a castle. It was a hill, specifically the site of a long-abandoned hill fort. By the time Shakespeare was writing this in Macbeth, the original structure was already in ruins, and historically, it may never have been much more than earthen defenses and timber walls. So that means during the time of the actual Macbeth, he probably wouldn't have had a fortress there either. That's how long it had been passed away. But this scene is written combined with the final battle and has a lot of people over time imagining that Dunsinane was this towering stone fortress. But that's not actually what it was. It was just made for incredible drama. Fact number two. Kenilworth Castle isn't actually mentioned in any of Shakespeare's plays, but I had to include it on this list because it is one of the most famous castles from Shakespeare's lifetime. So it's hard to talk about Shakespeare's castles and not mention Kenilworth Castle. Kenilworth Castle is where Robert Dudley famously tried to woo Queen Elizabeth in 1575, and he pulled out all the stops for this shindig. I mean, it was huge. There were pageants, fireworks, a floating stage, mermaids were involved. I mean, it was intense. He really wanted her to like him. Even more exciting, Kenilworth is only about 12 miles from Stratford-upon-Avon, and some scholars suggest that a young William Shakespeare, at only 11 years old, could have walked there to see the festivities firsthand. Obviously, we don't know if Shakespeare actually did that, but the proximity makes it such a tantalizing idea. Fact number three, Windsor Castle, yes, this same Windsor Castle that is still in use, is one of the most enduring castles in Shakespeare's plays. It's featured in The Merry Wives of Windsor. Windsor Castle was and still is a royal residence. It's been continuously inhabited for nearly 1,000 years. That's astounding to me. But it makes it one of the oldest occupied castles in the world. When Shakespeare was writing, Queen Elizabeth I regularly stayed at Windsor, and the town was already full of royal symbolism. That makes it a really fitting setting for Falstaff's misadventures and the comical hijinks of that play. And there's a persistent anecdotal story that Falstaff was one of Queen Elizabeth's favorite characters. So if that story is true, setting this play in Windsor Castle would have made a very clever and flattering nod to the Queen herself. As part of my research into Shakespeare's castles, I'm creating custom portraits of each one, and I'm recreating them as they might have looked in Shakespeare's lifetime. If you'd like to see those portraits as they're completed, come follow me on Instagram. I'll be sharing in progress pictures, as well as when I get them finished, I'm going to share them with you guys because honestly, it's a lot of work and I'd like you to cheer about them and have someone be as excited about them as I am. So follow along over there if you would like to see those in real time. And then of course, once they're finished, I'll make them available on the website. So always check casticash.com and there will be new portraits available there. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep looking for the history behind the castles, because in Shakespeare's world, they always mean more than meets the eye. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.